Hello and good evening, everybody. This is another episode of Punished for Protecting. I want to welcome everyone on this Saturday evening. I'm actually sitting in for Francesca tonight. I have a gentleman here on the phone with me that is from Western County, Ohio. He has actually been fighting the family court system since 2014. I want to have a warm welcome for Mr. Shawn Blow. Shawn, you're now online.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, not too bad for a rainy Saturday night.
Well, Shawn, if you don't mind, can you tell us a little bit about your case when it started back in 2014, and give us some information about what you've been dealing with, the family court that has been, playing basically a game with your entire family. The floor is open to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It all started in April 2014, stemming from false allegations by the children's mother to help herself gain custody of the kids after I found her unfit when they were babies. It was every allegation under the sun. They went to the school and talked to him and took him from the school and didn't notify me at all. I was standing at the door waiting for the bus to come through and drop the kids off, and the bus slows down and drives right on past. And so I called the school, and the secretary hung up on me 4 times before she answered again and handed the phone to the caseworker.
So the caseworker was there at the school at the time they took the children.
Said, "We're taking the kids, and there's nothing you can do about it."
Wow.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I was just saying the caseworker was still at the school. That's why the secretary, was refusing to answer the phone. So what did they tell you, that they had an emergency notice or anything of the sort?
Hey,
Did they tell you that you had that she had an emergency notice?
Got on there and no. When the caseworker got on the phone, she told me right off the bat, "We're taking your kids and there's nothing you can do about it. There'll be somebody by to speak with you shortly and let you know what's going on." And that's all she told me.
So when did you actually find out, once that they took them, when did you find out on what grounds they were taking them? What did she explain to you, if any?
4 hours after that phone call, a caseworker and 4 sheriff's deputies came to the house, and they explained to me the allegations.
What were they saying that you were being charged with?
Everything under the sun, from physical and abuse to neglect to sexual abuse to dependency.
Amazing. So basically, now did they believe that the reason was because of parental alienation as well, or did they believe that, this was coming from a divorce hearing where you were trying to gain leverage? What was their aspect on this? Because they can't come into the school and just say, "I'm sorry, but we're taking your children." That's unconstitutional.
Well, allegedly it was an emergency because I was sexually abusing my daughter. I never, before I educated myself on family law and how CPS is supposed to operate, I didn't know that they had to have anything. And so I never asked for it, so I never had proof that they did.
Right. So what have you been doing to try to educate yourself during this family?
To know if they... I'm I'm sorry.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's okay. What have you done since this has happened that you have educated yourself from what you've seen and what they've done to what their protocols, like they have actually voided out their normal protocols? What have you caught in your case that is false?
Well, I mean, several things, like my parental rights, they were never severed, and I had them the whole time that I was going through this case. I still had parental rights, and I would go into the Children's Services office and tell them that, okay, I want a list of all the doctor's appointments my kids have been to, and I want a list of every medication you've had my kids on or gave my kids since you took them. Oh, well, I don't have to give you that information. They're in state custody. And I said, yeah, you do. I said, I still have my parental rights, and you have to tell me what all you're doing.
Right.
Oh, no, we don't. I said, yeah. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll be back in a week, and I'll be expecting them papers. And I come back the next week, and they gave me the papers. Wow. Everything.
Okay, and you were telling me prior to this
and
that,
you know,
I'm sorry.
You got to stay. You have.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that you got to stay one step ahead of them.
Absolutely.
You have to stay one step ahead of them in this fight, and educate yourself. Educating yourself is the first step of that one step.
Yeah.
And as long as you know what they're supposed to be doing, they can't put blinders over your eyes.
Exactly. So when they took the children, from the beginning of the case, and she turned around and confiscated and illegally kidnapped your children, basically, you had been appointed by a wonderful court-appointed attorney, I'm assuming by possibly, let's just say they could have been in cahoots with CPS. So what has happened since you has appointed this attorney? What downfalls and what have you had to done to protect yourself since you've had this court-appointed attorney?
Well, it was kind of the same ordeal. I educated myself on Ohio family law and educated myself on Ohio law, so I knew how the lawyers are supposed to operate for us too, even if they're court appointed. And again, you got to stay one step ahead of them because they're out to profit off of this whole case, just like CPS and the judges are, and they do profit. Right. And I had to stay one step ahead of him and tell him what I wanted him to do in court. And if I wouldn't have told him, then he wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't have volunteered it. And I was on top of him constantly for it, both times. And it was a different lawyer each time. And so, I mean, again, education is the key.
Right.
If you educate yourself on your constitutional rights and family law and stuff like that, then you can make it swing in your direction in the case. Right.
Right. Yeah. Now, with the attorney, did they ever tell you that, you had to do this and you had to do that and that you could possibly reunify with your children? Did they ever give you that indication?
Oh, yeah. They tried to help bully me into doing what they wanted, CPS wanted me to do all the time. And I wouldn't. I did one psych evaluation for him, and it come back, nothing was wrong with me other than maybe a little bit of separation anxiety from children.
Right, that is normal. Parents...
And they didn't like that answer.
Oh, absolutely.
They wanted me to go to one of their psych. Yeah. And I said, no.
Yeah, so they turned around and said you have separation anxiety. Good. That is something normal that any caregiver will go through. I mean, a parent-child relationship shall not be severed. And when it is severed, I mean, you are going to have, regardless if it is the child or the adult, there is going to be some form of separation anxiety. That is a given, because you are that caregiver to that child that you brought into this world. That's the thing that gets me, is these people are so out to get and tear apart a beautiful, loving family that they will try anything in their grasp to make sure that they can never have any form of communication, or they will try every single tactic in their book to make sure that they can make sure that they sever those ties where that child will not be the same again. And you were telling me, I mean, it's up to you if you would like to dispose of this, but you were telling me that the children have now been administered some medication as well.
Oh, yeah. As of 3+ years ago, back in 2014, they put them on several, my daughter especially, put her on several different psychotropic drugs. From Seroquel to all kinds of other different ADHD and bipolar and all kinds of things there.
And how old is this child?
My son had him on 3 different medications. Well, now my son's 11, my daughter's 13. When I started, it was 8 and 10.
So they started medicating these children when they were 8 and 10 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing.
Heavily.
Yeah.
They
were saying that they saying that the children were suffering from separation anxiety as well, or what was their excuse for drugging these kids?
Oh, they said that they were severely ADHD, and my daughter had ODD, oppositional defiant disorder, and bipolar, and all different kinds of things. They even tried to put my son on the autism spectrum, and he's not autistic at all. And I had to fight him on that.
So let me ask you this. The person that put these children on this medication, was that a recommendation by CPS, or was it an actual doctorate that said, okay, these is, the symptoms that we have of these children, and making the recommendations for the medication? Or was this coming from recommendations from CPS because they believed that this is what the children were suffering from?
It was recommendations by CPS to the psychologist.
Now, do you know if that psychologist was actually licensed? Do you know if that psychologist was actually licensed to be able to do?
I have no clue.
Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about, parents.
I have absolutely no clue.
Yeah, see, that's what we got to know. As parents, we need to know the credentials of every single individual that is coming involved with this case. I don't want, let's just say Joe down the street claiming that my child is, bipolar, or she's ADHD, or if she's schizophrenic. They're making assumptions without having anyone to back that criteria up that they're claiming that these children have. However, they're saying, yes, we are able to diagnose that child. This is what they have, so we're going to give them medication. They cannot, they need to worry about the child's mental state. They need to worry about what is actually being done to these children when they are ripped from these homes. They don't have any remorse. They come in, separate a family that has been, from day one, the most caring, considerate, trustworthy family, and then they take these children and expect that they're going to be fine. They're going to throw them in foster care. They're going to put them in the system. But you know what really gets me is the fact that because of this, these children, regardless, are going to have some form of a mental, like you said, a separation. It is a given. You cannot take a parent-child relationship and not expect that something is going to happen, because it is. But the problem is, though, they don't need to be drugged. That is their answer to everything, because they want to drug these kids. They want to see that, Well, there's an issue here. They have a mental instability. There's a mental instability because of the parents. So we're going to blame the parents because, we're going to find them abusive and neglectful because they have this. It ties in way too much with them making money off of giving the children medication. It's been proven. So what else has happened in your case, Shawn, that you would like to tell our audience?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say.
Oh, go ahead. Whatever you were going to say, Shawn.
Okay, well, that's fine. I went through this case and fought this battle, and in the first case, it took me 18 months to get him out of foster care. And I fought tooth and nail. They even moved them clear across the state and several counties away to make it hard for me to visit my kids. Make me go that far to get you to visit, And got them home. I had them home 10 months. And they got taken again from their mother's house on a weekend visit. And she was proven to be using drugs and got for that. The kids, she was using drugs around the kids. So
she has a record.
What she was using.
She has a record, Shawn, right? Is that honest to say that she has a record for possible drug use and that these children have been placed with her and then they finally taken the children out of the home? Is that the scenario here?
Yeah, see, when the kids were babies, I took her to court and found her, she was found unfed because shortly before I took her to court, she was pulled over with marijuana and cocaine and 2 loaded pistols in the car and a carload of people. And she don't take care of herself at all and don't take care of the kid. But now my daughter lives with her.
So the CPS has taken the child from your custody, which
gave her.
Yeah, you don't have a record, correct?
Her. Right.
So here we are again at another crossroads where CPS has come in and taking a child from a fit parent to a parent that now has a drug record. She has been caught red-handed with paraphernalia in her car while the children are there. We have every right to question this child's safety.
Right. Right, I agree.
So where are you at right now, Shawn? Where are you at to try to gain custody of your daughter?
Well, as of now, like I told you earlier, I'm in the process of conferring with my lawyer and trying to see what options I have and how we can go about this, because I'm fighting this in front of the same judge that I fought for the last 3 years.
Right.
So it's gonna be a tough road just getting past that.
Right. So what have you, as you have seen basically in the court that you have been in, they're showing one, partiality for CPS, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry, what's that?
Oh, no, I say that in the court system that you've known that this judge, he has shown partiality with CPS. They have tried,
judge?
Yeah, the judge, is that correct to say?
Right.
And also, now correct me if I'm wrong, but he's
always been on their side of the whole deal.
What has he said anything to you that has raised a red flag, questioning their next intention or their next move? Do you believe that they're going to come after your other child?
It's just any recommendation. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm saying, do you believe that they could possibly come after your next child? Do you feel that they would try to do that, knowing that they have such a hatred for you, that, you know, because you are fighting the system, just like millions of parents right now are? Do you feel like they are retaliating against you for the fact that they're going to try to seek a possible placement for this child that you have living with you? Or do you think that would be their next tactic?
Anything's possible. I didn't think that they'd come back after me after 10 months, but they did, for the second case.
Right.
So, you know, I'm constantly still looking over my shoulder because you never know. I mean, they took them, when they could have brought the kids over here, because of how their mother was, they could have brought them over here instead of putting them in foster care, but yet they try to push more allegations on me.
Yeah, that's the way that these people work. They want to continually harass the fit parent to make them look the worst as possible. But, you know, you're experiencing firsthand that we have a child that is with someone that has a record that we know is unfit. And you know what gets me is it's always the fit parent that is going to continue to fight, and they know that we're going to continue to fight. But then that's where they come up saying that we have these mental issues because we are fighting, and those children are our blood, and we're going to continue to fight.
Yeah, nothing's going to stop me, and not when it comes to my kids.
Yeah.
And I think I know they literally tried to break me. They tried to break me down to where I would have a mental issue after the first time. The second time when they took them, they tried to get me to do another mental evaluation. And I said, you guys had one a year ago. You're not getting another one. I'm not doing another one. I said, I gave you one, and that's it. You're not getting another one. And they said, oh, well, a lot can change in a year. And I said, I don't care. I don't think it's changed a bit. I said, I've just become more angry.
Right. See, they're trying to build a case up against you.
Do another mental evaluation.
Yep. They're trying to build a case against you, Shawn, again. Okay. I said they're trying to build a case against you again because they didn't have anything on you the first time. So they're trying to come back at you again, hoping that they can get some kind of leverage in family court.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what they were doing. They were trying to break me down to where I would have a mental breakdown or whatever, and they could use that against me too.
Right. Yeah, they want to say that you're the unfit parent now because you're having, you know, separation anxiety, which is completely normal. I mean, any sane, normal parent is going to have, you know, a withdrawal from their own child. It's a given. And that's what they try to do is they keep pressuring you into doing these different things and saying you have to abide by this, you got to do this. You know, we are going to reunify the family if you do this. It's nothing but a lie. And that's what gets me is I'm so glad to see, Shawn, that you are standing up to this monster and against child predator services because they have taken what has been your God-given right to have, and that is to be a father to your children.
Right.
Well, is there anything that you would like to add, Shawn, before I let you go this evening?
I just want to tell the listeners out there that no matter what, stay strong and don't give up. Because if you take the time to study and learn the family laws and things like that in your state, then you're going to come out on top, or it's going to be a long, hard fight for them. Because the more educated you are, the more ammo you have. And just stay strong, and mad love to everybody that's going through this. because I know what it's like.
Yeah, I will speak for a lot of parents out there. You know, it is a very tiring situation when, you know, you have a child that, you know, has been taken from you, that you love unconditionally, and you would do anything in the world for that child to let them know that you do love them. But you have this evil entity that has severed that connection with you and your child. And all you are hoping for is that one day you can have that connection back. You can love that child and pick up where you left off. And you know what? As parents, we have to unite. We have to stand strong. And you know what? Child Predator Services, we're not putting up with this anymore. As parents, we will shut you down. We will take back our children. And as a whole unit here in the United States of America, we're coming for you. And I guarantee you, there's nothing wrong with us except we are protective parents who love our children and will continue to love our children regardless. And that you cannot take away from us. Well, Shawn, I want to thank you this evening for coming on.
Amen to that.
Yep. I want to thank you again, like I said, for coming on this evening, Shawn, and telling us a little bit about your story. I'm just hoping that this gives a lot of inspiration to parents out there that is fighting, that, you know, we can't give up. We can't give in to them, regardless of what they say, how they say it. And like you said, education is power. Make sure that you have as much education, you know, self-education as possible. Make sure that you know the laws as much as you can. I know I personally have been studying. A lot of other parents that I'm advocating for is studying. And like I said, knowledge is power. And the more that you know and the more that you find out that they have done wrong, the more that you can claim in court and ask them direct questions that I guarantee you, you're going to get them tangled up and they're going to hate you for it, because now you know the information, you know what the protocols are, and you have ammunition to fight, just like you said. Well, Shawn, thank you again for coming on this evening.
Yeah, and you know their next move before they make it.
That's it. We as parents have to stay ahead of their so-called game, as I've been told many of times, that, you know, we have to stay steps ahead of these people because it is our children's lives at stake. We cannot play with our children's lives. You know, we have one chance to be an important figure in that child's life. And when somebody interjects themselves in that, we're going to fight and we're not going to stop until we have, you know, the justice that we all deserve as parents. Am I correct, Shawn?
Most definitely correct.
Well, I want to thank you again, and I'll be talking with you soon. And I want everyone to please go to the YouTube channel under Punished for Protecting and subscribe. Also, if you have a story that you would like to have us air and you've had to battle in family court as well, please visit our website at punishedbeingaaparent.com. Again, that is punishedbeingaaparent.com. Again, I want to thank all of our viewers this evening for listening to our story and exposing the corruption of family court. And I want everyone to have a blessed evening and good night.